The following text is taken from an article from the Herald newspaper, from the 13th of June 2025, written by Kathleen Nutt and entitled, SNP Reject Proposal for Tax Rise on Second Homes in Hotspots.
A new tax rise on second homes in tourist hotspots will not go ahead after the Scottish government knocked back proposals from the Scottish Greens. The Scottish Greens wanted ministers to be able to double the levy on purchases of second homes. The tax, known as the Additional Dwelling Supplement, is paid by the buyer in addition to the Land and Buildings Transaction Tax, the standard levy on home purchases. Currently it is 8% of the cost of the property, but the Greens wanted it raised to 16% in areas where there is a housing shortage, arguing that it made sense for the government to be able to change the tax in a targeted way in particular regions rather than having to make any change nationwide. Ross Greer, the Scottish Greens finance spokesman, who tabled the amendment to legislation going through Holyrood, told the Herald last month that a high number of holiday homes in some areas reduced housing supply for local people, as he urged ministers and opposition parties to back his proposal when it was voted on at stage 2 of the parliamentary process. But the Scottish government and the other parties rejected his calls. 13 of Scotland's 32 councils have declared a housing emergency, beginning with Argyll and Bute Council in June 2023, with the most recent being East Lothian Council in November last year. A national housing emergency was announced by the Scottish government for the whole country in May 2024. Experts believe the main driver of the emergency include pressures on homelessness services, high levels of people in temporary accommodation, and a lack of affordable homes compared to high waiting lists. Mr. Ross's proposals on ADS were among more than 400 amendments to the housing bill which were debated by MSPs on Holyrood's local government, housing, and planning committee. Ministers have tabled an amendment proposing that rent rises are capped to the rate of inflation plus 1% to a maximum of 6%. They have also set out exemptions to this rule. The Scottish government has also set a target date for local authorities to make market assessments and recommendations on whether or not to introduce a rent control area. The new date is May 31, 2027. Many in the property sector are opposed to rent controls, arguing the root of the problem of high housing costs is an insufficient number of homes to buy or rent. They argue rent controls may make the problem worse by prompting landlords to sell up.